Connect book, Primary 6, Students Book, Term 1, Unit 1, Part 2. Page 8, Exercise 5, we continue talking about adverbs of frequency. So read carefully and circle the correct adverb in each sentence. 1. We don't like fish at all, so we often or we never eat it. We never eat it. 2. Date palm trees usually or never produce fruit. Of course, palm trees give us dates, so it usually produce fruit. 3. My aunt lives with us, so I often or rarely speak to her. She lives with us, so I often speak to her. 4. I sometimes or never do my homework in the afternoon, but I prefer do it in the evening. So most of the time I like to do it in the evening, but sometimes I do it in the afternoon. 5. Hani rarely or often plays football. He doesn't like sports. He doesn't like sports means he often or rarely plays football. Rarely. 6. My father sometimes or always drives to work. It is very far and there is no train or bus there. There is no transportation and very far. So what he will do sometimes or always drives? Yes, always drives.
Students Book, Unit 1, Lesson 2, Exercise 6. Listen. Where do the friends decide to go on Saturday?
What do you usually do on weekends, Camila?
I usually spend time with my sisters. We often go shopping in the city center, or we sometimes go to the movie theater. What about you?
I don't very often go into the city. I usually stay at home and help my mom, but I sometimes visit my grandparents with my sister Inji and her kids.
Where do your grandparents live, Nadine?
They live in the countryside on a farm. It's near a town called Asyut. Do you know it? It's on the River Nile.
Asyut? That's a long way from here. How often do you see them?
About once a month. My sister can drive, so she usually takes me in her car. And we always try to meet up for the holiday at Eid al-Adha too. We usually stay for a week at their house then.
I love Eid al-Adha. We always meet up with my mom's family for the holiday, and they are all great cooks, and we always eat a lot.
That sounds great.
What about this weekend, Nadine? Are you busy?
Not really. Do you want to do something together?
Yes. Let's go to that new cafe in our neighborhood. It's near the square.
Yes, okay. It looks nice, and they've got delicious date and honey cakes. Saturday afternoon?
Yes, that sounds great. I'll text you.
So the question again, where do the friends decide to go on Saturday? They decide to go to the new cafe in the neighborhood.
Exercise 7. Listen again. Complete the sentences the two girls say. Write 2 words in each gap.
What do you usually do on weekends, Camila?
I usually spend time with my sisters. We often go shopping in the city center, or we sometimes go to the movie theater. What about you?
I don't very often go into the city. I usually stay at home and help my mom, but I sometimes visit my grandparents with my sister Inji and her kids.
A tip, we use present simple tense to talk about habits and routines, means things that repeated in the present time. Like when I say I visit my cousins every week, or when I say he usually goes to school by bus.
Exercise 8. Answer the questions. Then listen again and check.
What do you usually do on weekends, Camila?
I usually spend time with my sisters. We often go shopping in the city center, or we sometimes go to the movie theater. What about you?
I don't very often go into the city. I usually stay at home and help my mom. But I sometimes visit my grandparents with my sister Inji and her kids.
Where do your grandparents live, Nadine?
They live in the countryside on a farm. It's near a town called Asyut. Do you know it? It's on the River Nile.
Asyut? That's a long way from here. How often do you see them?
About once a month. My sister can drive, so she usually takes me in her car. And we always try to meet up for the holiday at Eid al-Adha too. We usually stay for a week at their house then.
I love Eid al-Adha. We always meet up with my mom's family for the holiday, and they are all great cooks, and we always eat a lot.
That sounds great.
What about this weekend, Nadine? Are you busy?
Not really.
Yes, let's go to that new cafe in our neighborhood. It's near the square.
Yes, okay. It looks nice. And they've got delicious date and honey cakes. Saturday afternoon?
Yes, that sounds great. I'll text you.
So let's read the questions and the answers again. Where do Nadine's grandparents live? They live in the countryside on a farm near Asyut town. 2. How does she get to their home? She gets to their home by her sister's car. Her sister is driving. 3. How often means how many times does she go to see them? She goes to see them once a month. 4. Who does Gamila always meet up with for Eid al-Adha? She always meets her mom's family. And the last question, when are Nadine and Gamila going to the new cafe? They are going to the new cafe on Saturday afternoon. Page 9 tip. We can use these time expressions to talk about how often we do something. Every day, once a week, once means one time, twice a month, twice means 2 times, 3 times a year. Exercise 9. Complete the paragraph with the time expressions from the tip box. My sister Dalia plays basketball twice a week, on Tuesdays and Thursdays. She has a gymnastics lesson once a week on Saturdays. She also practices her gymnastics every day after school. She never misses a day. 3 times a year in January, June, and December, there is a big gymnastics competition in our region. Dalia always enters. Go, Dalia. Exercise 10. Write a short paragraph about how often you do a sport or visit a family member. Use the language focus box on page 7. Go back to your book on page 7 and tip boxes to help you. You can use time expressions like once and twice a week and this stuff and every day. And you can also use often, usually, sometimes, frequency adverbs. I love sports. I always go walking. I walk to school every day. I sometimes go swimming. My friends like to play football 3 times a week. I usually play football with my friends. Sport is very good for our body health. I think everyone should play sports. And when you write a paragraph, remember to start with an introduction sentence, like I love sports, and a conclusion sentence, like I think everyone should play sports, and the body. And take care to use frequency words and time expressions like always, every day, sometimes, usually, and take care also of verbs, how to put it in the correct form, like go, goes, and so on. Exercise 11. Work with a partner. Ask and answer questions about your weekends and the holidays. Use this example to talk with your partner in the classroom. You can use any holiday or any weekend and talk about the places you go. What do you usually do on Sham in Nisim? We always go to the park near my uncle's house. What about you? Page 10, Lesson 3, Exercise 1. What do you like about your neighborhood? Your neighborhood is the place surrounding your home, your house, everything around you. So for me, I like the green areas in my neighborhood. What about you? Maybe you have the sea beside you, the Nile River, or some fields. Exercise 2. Wael is in New York for a year with his family. Read his email. What's Wael's favorite place in New York? Here is how we write an informal email, a friend to a friend. First, to the person you are writing to, you have to write his email here. And from is the person writing the email. And the subject, what is this email about? Life in New York. Hi Samir, how are you? I'm well, and New York is great. Our apartment is on the 16th floor, so we have a great view of the city. New York has a lot of green spaces. There are also projects to create new parks and green spaces in parts of the city that no one uses now, like the famous High Line. Do you know about it? Years ago, the High Line was a railway line, means it's a line specially for trains. But in the 1980s, trains stopped using it. Some local residents, people living around the area, local residents, then decided to make the old railway into a big long park that everyone could use. Now it's a green space with more than 500 species of plants and trees in it. It is 2.5 kilometers long, and when you walk through it, you can see artworks, watch a theater performance, eat delicious food, go running, or just hang out with your friends. And hang out means spend good time with your friends and have fun. I think it's my favorite place in New York. It passes through means it goes through our neighborhood, means it's beside our neighborhood. So I often go there with my parents. Here is one of my photos of it, and this is the photo. How are things in Alexandria? He's from Alexandria in Egypt. I miss home. I miss something means I want to go back to it very soon. So he miss home means he miss his country. New York is very noisy all the time. Alexandria is much quieter at night. There are lots of different restaurants here in New York, and the food doesn't taste like the food at home. Again, he means Egypt. I think the food tastes more delicious in Egypt. I miss our food so much. Write soon and tell me all your news. Wael. So page 11, according to the email we read on page 10 of Wael, we will answer exercise 3, match the words in bold to the definitions. 1. Spend time with, relax together, means hang out. 2. People who live in a neighborhood are local residents. 3. Goes from one place to another is passes through. 4. Feel sad that you can't have or see something, miss. 5. A road for trains is called railway line. Tip for true or false exercises. First, read the sentence carefully, underline the keywords, and look for similar words in the text. Compare the information in the sentences and in the text. Then choose your answer. Exercise 4, read the tip box, and exercise 5, then underline the keyword in each sentence. Exercise 5, read the email again on page 10. Write T for true or F for false and correct the false sentences in your notebook. 1. Samir's family lives in a tall building. This is true. He said, we live in the 16th floor. So this means that they live in a tall building. 2. There aren't many parks in New York. This is false, because he said that there are a lot of green spaces, which means a lot of green areas and green parks and trees. 3. Samir lives far from the High Line. This is false again, because he said it passes through his neighborhood. 4. In the past, the High Line was a road. False, it was a railway line, not a road. 5. The High Line is 2.5 kilometers long. Yes, true, he said 2.5 kilometers. 6. Samir loves the local food. Local food means the Egyptian food. Yes, true, he said that he misses the food of Egypt. Now, what are the key words? Tall building, correct, that's why we choose true. Many parks, there aren't many parks, this is wrong. Far from, and this is the mistake in the sentence, it passes through the neighborhood. It's not a road, it's a railway line, so this is the key word here. 2.5 kilometers long, which is true, and local food is true too. Exercise 6. Read the text again. Find 5 things you can do in the High Line. He already mentions many things that you can do. You can walk, go running, eat, see artwork, or hang with your friends. Exercise 7. What green spaces are there near you? What can you do there? Tell your partner. There is a big park near the river. I often go. That's nice. What can you do there? You can also do the same with your partner in the school and talk together about areas or green spaces around your neighborhood. Thank you for listening and watching this video. ما تنسوش تتابعوا part 3 لunit 1 والأخير. ولو أول مرة تشوف القناة ما تنساش تعمل subscribe ولايك and share عشان غيرك يستفيد. See you soon. Bye.